This somatic practice is going to allow you to explore and inquire for yourself as a sovereign being what it is that your yes is and what your no is. It's going to allow you to explore what that feels like on a somatic level in your body so that you can feel certain, so that we can move past the doubt. Literally right there. I was like looking for my pendulum. We're going to jump straight into it by talking about communication, talking about self-doubt, the self-doubt that creeps in when we are communicating with people, when we're communicating with people in an uncomfortable conversation, or communicating with someone that we find uncomfortable to communicate with for whatever reason. This somatic practice is going to allow you to explore and inquire for yourself as a sovereign being what it is that your yes is and what your no is. It's going to allow you to explore what that feels like on a somatic level in your body so that you can feel certain, so that we can move past the doubt, that barrier of the doubt when we're communicating. If we can take that barrier away and be self-assured in what it is that we're feeling and thinking, and also not being attached to whether we're right in the moment and overthinking it in retrospect, trusting what comes through in that moment is what was meant to come out. So we're going to work on communication, trusting our yeses and nos. And the way we're going to do this through a somatic practice / energetic practice, because I like to blend the two, as you know, if you've been following me for a while, is with a pendulum. Now, I'm living abroad right now. I'm about to move back to Australia. So what I'm using as my pendulum currently, because all my pendulums are at home in Australia, is my clear quartz necklace that one of my beautiful friends makes jewelry. She made this for me. I'm going to use it like a pendulum. And what we're going to do is we're going to start to, it's a really simple practice, by the way. What we're going to do is we're going to explore what our yeses and nos are, which you would typically do when you're programming a pendulum to ask it questions anyway. You would ask, give me a yes. And based on your reflex response through kinesthetics, muscle contractions, your body will tell you what your yes is. My yes is forward and back, and it's very strong. Give me a no, and it's a circle. I'm not doing anything. My body is intuitively telling me what my yes and what my no is. Give me a yes. See? I don't know if you can see that. Maybe we'll zoom in for a bit. That's my yes. Very strong. Give me a no. Starting to circle. Okay? That's the first part of trusting the pendulum. Thank you, beautiful body. I always thank myself for communicating with me, like the unconsciousness communicating with me. That's the first part of the practice, and that's the way you can set up your pendulum and program it so that you can ask your unconsciousness questions. And some people believe when you're working with pendulums that you're working with other energies and entities out there too. I prefer to think of it as we are sovereign beings and we can trust ourselves first and foremost, because at the end of the day, we are the ones who are in control of our lives. We can trust ourselves first and foremost over anybody else. But in saying that, we are also connected to the collective, to universe, to higher powers, whatever you want to name it, via the collective network. And so when you're using this pendulum, not only are you tapping into your own unconscious energy, but collective energy, a broader perspective. It's going to give you that new perspective, the perspective you can't see. Again, removing that blind spot of the self-doubt. So when we're going through this as a somatic practice, the other thing we want to bring our awareness to while we're going through and feeling out, our yeses and our nos. I'm doing that on purpose now, just so you can come back to seeing what that was. But when we're feeling out our yeses and our nos, we want to think about the sensations in our bodies, right? So I'm going to do it again. Give me a yes. Now I can see that the pendulum's back and forth. That's my yes. I can feel some subtle energy in my fingertips and in my hand beneath. What else do I feel when I feel this yes in my body? What does it feel like? Typically, a yes will be our intuition. It will come from our higher chakras, so from our heart chakra upwards. And then typically our no, give me a no. Typically our no will be felt in our lower chakras, from our solar plexus down. It is our gut instinct. Yes, it can be driven by fear sometimes, but sometimes instincts keep us safe as well. So learning what your yeses and nos feel like in your body by simply inquiring it through pendulum work. is such a beautiful and simple practice. So go ahead and try it. Let me know how you experienced it, what you felt in your body with your no's and your yeses. So for example, for me, when I was asking it, give me a yes, I could so strongly feel it in my third eye, but also in one of my minor chakras, the soma. I could really feel it there. I'm quite connected to the soma because my business branding is soma body, like somatic body, but also it just was so activated there for me. Upper chakras, intuition, yes. For me, my lower chakras, I felt it more in my womb because again, I do womb hara work, somatic work. So I felt it there. I feel really connected to that place. I also felt it at the base of my spine, the coccyx, my tailbone, and a little tingle in my feet. That was my no. And so when we can become more conscious, more self-assured with what our yeses and nos feel like, we can then take that moment to pause, somatically inquire when we're in communication with people and be able to discern for ourselves, yes, I want to do that. No, I don't want that. Thank you for the offer though. And within that self-assurance, within that lack of self-doubt, because we're getting rid of that barrier, comes clarity and the confidence to be able to communicate. So this isn't a one and done practice either. I highly recommend that you do this practice for at least 7 days. I always like to say, do it at least 7 days, see how you go. Be even more persistent. You can build it up as a habit. 21 days to start forming a habit, 60 days to have the habit instilled. I think it's 60 or 68 days to have the habit instilled in your brain neurologically. So try it out for 7 days. If you're really enjoying the practice and you're noticing a improvement in your communication and the self-doubts slowly fading away and your confidence in communication is coming back, or you're relearning it, remembering it, then keep on going. Why not? I'd love to hear your experience if you try this out in the comments below. Thank you.